All right, today we got a subject to deal. This is a property in San Antonio. Let's see, this is a 3-bed, 2-bath. The estimate the rent's gonna be $1,850. It's estimate 240, so that's what it's selling on subject to, because then they can actually get a little bit more money for their property. You need $19,999 to close. Monthly only costs $1,725. So this $1,725 is going to be the total PITI that I'm going to assume for the purpose of estimating where this property is going to cash flow. Okay, so 1725. Okay, so for this property, let's see. Any pictures or anything like that? Okay, just got photos. All right, let's see. So what I'm going to do right now for the purpose of today is just figure out where this property is going to cash flow. Okay. Now let's plug in some numbers here really quick, just based on what we have. 248,000. I'm going to leave the rehab number as is right now at 3,500, but I'm just going to assume it's turnkey, right? Not going to overthink it for now. I need to get my rent. So for this property, let's go ahead and check out what county this is in. So when we search this on Redfin, what county is this in? See if we've seen it from photos. Okay, this looks relatively turnkey. It looks vacant already. $3,500 seems okay. All right. As long as there's major issues. 3-bed, 2-bath. Let's see what county this is in. This is in Bexar County. So when I Google HUD FMR, I'm going to try to get the rent ceilings first. FMR stands for fair market rents. Click on the first link. I'm going to go down to access small area FMRs. Click on look up FY 2024 small area FMRs. Look at Texas. And now I'm going to see by county what the rent ceiling is for a 3-bed and a 4-bed. So this is 78244. So 78244, the rent ceiling for a 3-bed and a 4-bed. 3-bed is 2230. And the 4-bed is 2660. 2230, 2660. That was for 78244. Just writing down these numbers because my partner already knows how I analyze deals. So this helps them understand where did these assumptions come from, right? So now that I'm going to look up the rents for my 3-bed, I'm going to go to affordablehousing.com. I'm going to go to owner section, and go to the market rent estimator, plug in the address, plug in a bedroom count. And now the number I care most about here is right here. It says that for 24 units within a 0.42 mile radius, the average rent is $1,613. So that, how does that compare? They were saying on rent, Zestimate was $1,850, but I'm seeing $1,613. So I'm going to use $1,613 because that's a really small radius, right? 0.4. It's a small radius. And I mean, I'll underwrite it using multiple different rents so you can see how far off it is. But let me also get the rents for a 4-bed. Does it jump a lot higher? $1,860. So nowhere close to the rent ceiling that we saw earlier of $2,660 and $2,230, right? So if you were to just go ahead and analyze the deal and assume you were going to get the rent ceiling, just remember that includes utilities, but that also includes that does not account for the rent reasonableness test. And the reason you got to use the lower of the two, right? So in this scenario, I'm going to use $1,613 as my rent. That I use lower of is because of a test called the rent reasonableness test. And this is the best guidebook to look at it. And in section 2.2 of the Housing Choice Voucher Program Guidebook, HCV was previously known as Section 8. They rebranded it from Section 8 to Housing Choice Voucher because of all the negative connotations associated with it. Well, in conducting rent reasonableness, the PHA must determine whether the rent to the owner is a reasonable or rent in comparison to rent for other comparable unassisted units. So you can't charge more just because you're renting out to a voucher holder. So that's why we have to use the lower of the two, because that's a more reasonable rent. So that's why I'm using 1613. All right. So now, when I realize that my total PITI is 1725, which is close right here, I'm going to my property tax number. Okay. You go 1725. And I'm going to subtract my principal portion of the subto loan, the interest portion of the subto loan, the principal and interest portion of the secondary loan, which there was a second mortgage here. And that's how I'm going to get to my total property tax number and insurance number, right? That just purely for estimating whether or not I'm going to cash flow on this deal. And then in B29, I usually add extra $30 because there's an insurance number in B28. I'm adding extra $30 every single month because when you move to an investment property, typically you see insurance costs go up a little bit more. So that's why I'm adding extra $30 there. All right, at 10% set aside for maintenance, right? There's money you're going to spend every single month, and there's money you got set aside every single month for future repairs because something's going to break eventually at some point. Okay. And then I got my 10% for my property management, and I got 5% for my vacancy. So all in all, let's go ahead and put in our entry fee at $19,999, right? That includes our entry fee. I got 2.5% for my closing costs, $3,500 for renovations. This, assuming I put in my numbers correctly, right? I put in the first mortgage at $196 at 4%, the secondary at $36,000. But at the end of the day, I still backed into and trued up so that I know what is the amount that I'm paying for property tax insurance. But the total amount is correct. And that's what I want to use to see and analyze my cash flow, assuming we're at 1613. So at 1613, I know I'm losing money. Even if I converted this property from a 3-bed to a 4-bed and I rent it out at $1,860, right, which is the market rate for a 4-bed, I'm still losing money. So in both of these scenarios, right, even though I was trying to be creative and say, hey, what if I converted some open space to another bedroom? Can I make this a deal? That's not the case here. Okay. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit something today. My hope is that you copy my homework today, right? Analyze the same deal on Analyze Today. This is public information. I just get access to all these creative finance deals. And you can use the same spreadsheet, right? You can go to affordablehousing.io. I didn't create this spreadsheet. I got it from a few other folks. I tweaked it, I modified and combined it with other spreadsheets so that I can analyze these deals a lot quicker so that I can avoid burning out, right? The last thing I want to do is spend so much time analyzing a deal where it just ain't gonna work. It's not worth my time. And I don't want to spend all that time on deals that don't work. So get a copy of the spreadsheet. I promise I won't spam you. This is the easiest way to get a copy of the spreadsheet. And my hope is that you analyze the same deal and put it on your own YouTube channel, right? That's how you get practice. That's how you understand whether or not you are going to be able to spot a deal when that deal comes across the table and slaps you across the face. I hope you recognize that deal. And the only way you're going to feel confident is by showing yourself that track record that you have been consistent in what you've been doing and that you've been analyzing deals every single day. All right. Again, it's not investment advice. Wasn't soliciting any investments on this call. I'm just showing you all the work that I'm doing every single day just for fun, but it's part of the process that we get better together. All right. All right. Have an amazing day. I'll be back here again tomorrow for day 313. Have a good one, everybody.